Hi, everybody. My name is Brian Drundle, and I'm the founder of highschoolfishingcentral.com and YouTube channel. And today we've got a special guest. We've got Frank Hyla from Shimano. And the question that I'm going to pose to you, Frank, is let's say I'm a late grade school, middle school fisherman, maybe a freshman in high school, and I'm wanting to get involved in my high school team, but I don't really have any gear yet, or I don't have very good gear. What would be a good rod or reel combination to start out with?
Sure. Well, we hear that all the time. Excuse me. And in the past, there were reels that you could buy for $20, $30, $40. And I'm talking first about bait casting reels, but they didn't really work well. They didn't hold up well. Our company, we are a top-down company. When we create a new fishing reel, we create the best one we can. Antares, Aldebaran, Stella, reels that could cost $700, $800, $900, and then we bring that technology down into an affordable price. So for a high school, college angler, the number one place you probably want to look would be this Slx Reel. This reel is just a few years old. There's several different versions of it. Retail in the store sells for $100. It's got an all metal body, Hagani gears, which are basically cold forge gears. It's got a great drag, a big handle. It's easy to palm. You can see how small that is. I mean, it's just sitting in the palm of your hand.
Can you lift it a little higher? There you go.
This reel comes in 6'3", 7'2", and 8'2" to 1 gear ratios. There's 4 in the family. The SLX, which is this one. There's an XT, which is about $150, an MGL, which is also about $150. And then we came out with this reel in one of our digital versions, which is really cool technology for about $250. But a reel like this, you could start fishing in high school, college, and if you wanted to, you could use this reel the rest of your life. It won't break down. It's a great piece of machinery. We stand behind it. But it has all the basics you need to be a beginning bait cast fisherman.
Great. I will link below for you that are curious to read the details, the specs on each one of those reels. So I'll have them all linked below, and you'll be able to also see the current price as far as the reel, so you could actually purchase it directly by clicking on the link below. Okay, so these are durable. They'll work for beginner fishermen and advanced fishermen.
Sure, they will. I mean, as fishermen advance, of course, everybody wants something a little better, and you can basically go $50 or so better with every, just keep moving up the line. But for a mom and dad that's starting their kid on fishing, their boy or girl, haven't fished with a bait caster before, you don't want to sink too much in it because you don't know if the student's going to stay with it. That SLX is a real good place to be. And then using the Shimano Varsity program, it's quite a substantial discount, about 40% off that. So I dare to say you're not going to find a better reel for that price anywhere in the market.
So for those of you that aren't familiar with the Varsity program, those are discounted basically codes that you would put into a website to purchase those, and your coaches would be handing those out to you, or maybe tournament directors as you fish tournaments. I will put a link below for information to that Varsity program. So if your team isn't doing that, you could contact your coach and try to get him set up with that. So Frank, what rod would you pair with that then?
I have one here. I don't know if you can see it, but this is a SLX, the companion rod that goes with it. Several actions, medium heavy all the way up to heavy, 6.5 feet all the way up to almost 8 feet. The rod also sells for $100 or $99.99. With the Varsity program, you're talking about getting the whole combo for $120, $130, something like that. So
Well, that'd be for the rod and the reel. That's a great
the rod and the reel.
price.
So if you are a beginning high school or junior fisherman, that is the perfect place to be. And unless you're very wealthy, there's no need to spend any more money than that.
Yeah.
And you can get a dozen different combos that, use those two series, the SLX reel and the SLX rod, and really make that your only combo in the boat if you wish.
And I will put the link to the rods as well down below. You know, I've been coaching high school fishing for over a decade now, and it seems like in the early years I had kids buying those $30, $40 reels, and they constantly were having backlashes, drag issues, just all kinds of issues. And it became apparent within the second or third year of high school fishing, and when it was in its infancy, I started to see that kids and parents weren't at all afraid of spending over $100 for a reel, because they soon learned that you kind of get what you pay for in the fishing industry a little bit.
Right. So yeah,
Fantastic.
I mean, and the reels I'm showing you, the SLX, and where we go from there, they are not throwaways. They are not something that you'll use for a year or even two, and they're going to fall apart. I've had kids at different events bring up handfuls of lure parts, that their reels just exploded, fighting a fish. That should never happen here. If you keep them pretty clean and lightly oiled, they should last you till you don't want to fish anymore.
Fantastic. Are there any other lines of reels that you would recommend?
I'd like to show one. Yeah, I'd like to show one more. This is the Corrado K. There have been, I think, 8 different versions of the Corrado. This has been the workhorse of the line for about as long as I can remember. It wasn't too long ago, if you went to a big Bassmaster Elites event or an FLW event, there were all these sponsored pros that had their reels to work with. Anybody that didn't have a sponsor was using a Corrado because they just lasted forever. The difference between that and the SLX that we talked about previously, Corrado sells for $180, Corrado K. It's got better gears, more precise gears, better drag. It's an all-metal one-piece body. You really shouldn't be able to hurt it. And it is available, again, through our varsity program for a substantial, discounted price. Normal price is $180. So that is one that, and you could buy Corrado and never buy another reel. They're that good. They should last you forever. Anything else, it's, I guess, the difference between buying a high-end sports car and just a car that's going to get you around. The Corrado will do everything you need it to do.
Fantastic. And I'll put that link down below as well. And I'm sure they come in several gear ratios as well.
The same gear ratio, 6:3 to 1, 7:2 to 1, 8:2 to 1. Okay. And depending on as your skill level, grows and you get very, more specific, you're throwing buzz baits or fast rattle traps or something where you need a fast reel. Most of the time, if you go with that middle one, the 7.2, you can do about anything. So, but as you grow in the sport, you want to get a little more particular. So right. We have all the options.
Now, does Corrado have a line of rods as well, or what would you pair that one up with?
There is a line of Corrado rods. Now that you're getting into this place, the Corrado rods, there's actually a rod called Intenza, which sells for like $140. There's a Corrado line of rods. There's now you can start looking at the G Luma side, the E6X. There's actually probably 5 or 6 that you can look at in that ratio, and it gets. By the time you move up to that price range, you're getting pretty specific in what you want your rods to do. I want a spinnerbait rod. I want a vibrating jig rod. I want to, just about anything. And they're all available in those different rod series.
Right.
And I guess this is a good place. I want to say, and I don't know if this was something you want to talk about later. For those of you who want to go on that varsity website, maybe do a little shopping. Right now in 2020, at the end of the year, we're in a weird place where fishing has become crazy popular, and there are a lot of things out of stock right now, not just from us, but from all manufacturers. But we get deliveries every day. So if you're going to look today, you might just take a couple of weeks, and then we'll have what you want.
So when would you think, now that the vaccine is coming out, when do you think things will start to be in stock? Do you think by April or maybe by June, or does it
No,
get a
I
little bit
think
longer?
no, way before that, January, February.
Oh, okay, great.
Some have become available now, but uh, it's interesting us living up here in the Midwest. Down south they're still fishing, and they're still buying gear right now. A lot of kids got money for Christmas from mom and dad and grandma and grandpa, and they're always anxious to buy. But definitely before fishing season starts in Illinois, there'll be product in stock.
Great, fantastic. Well, thanks so much for joining us today. If you like this kind of content, please hit subscribe, and you can also hit that bell indication that'll let you know when new videos are being posted. Also, if you look right over here, you're going to see a couple possible videos that you might enjoy watching. So everybody, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.